Hi, I'm Myra.
And I'm Tressa. We are fancy marketing people with Union, a Wyoming-based telecommunications company. Yes, Wyoming really does exist. We proudly serve the Rocky Mountain region.
On this podcast, we will feature businesses, organizations, nonprofits, and influential people from Utah, Colorado, and Wyoming.
Our mission is to highlight those who inspire their communities daily.
We believe this makes us truly authentic because a journey of 1,000 miles always begins with a single step.
Hello, Myra.
Hi, Tessa. What's up?
Oh, I'm wearing the same outfit. We're recording on the same day. Let's just be honest. Not much since the last time we chatted.
Not much, no. I laughed so hard because earlier today when somebody called you Tessa, and I messaged you back Chorizo. So funny stories for people in listener land. Everybody butchers Tressa's name everywhere.
They do.
Regardless of if she spells it or if she doesn't spell it. But the best name ever that ever happened in the history of names for Tressa was someone called her Chorizo. And I laugh about it daily. I just lay in bed at night and think, Chorizo.
All of my name mishaps give you joy. I'm so glad.
Well, it usually happens to me.
Yeah,
so
no, I know.
I'm with a fellow name mishapper. Yeah. So we just walk around and my name's Mira and Mayra and you're Tiza and Tessa and Chorizo.
Yeah, Teresa.
Whatever.
Chorizo. Yeah.
So one time someone spelled your name like tree. Like Teresa.
I know, and half the time, if I'm with you, a lot of times we're at conferences and even at Starbucks, my name tag's right here.
Yeah. Well, that one day when we were, I had to, I got a funny story for people in this Atlanta. So I had to fly and I tried to fly with a paper ID and I didn't have backup ID. And so I asked the kind TSA people, so thank you TSA listeners if there are any of you. She was a wonderful human and I got through with a Costco card and I wasn't going to take that chance on the way back. So I survived. Yay, I made it to Nashville. But going back to the name badge thing, Blake had to mail me my ID because it came in the exact day I flew. And the guy didn't even ask me my name or anything. He just looked right at my badge and was like, bloop, 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 Myra, bloop, 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 and then pulled it right up. I'm like, man, that was the best thing ever. I want to walk around with my name on a badge because then you don't have to spell it or anything. You're just like, bleep, this is who I am.
He used his resources.
Yeah, he did. He used context clues. He didn't even play games.
You walked out. You're like, how did he know who I was? Well, maybe it's the badge that you were wearing.
So now I kind of want to just wear a badge. I don't even need to say. I don't even need to explain myself. I didn't even need to tell him why I was there. He just went bloop, bloop, bloop. And I'm like, wow, this is the best service I've ever had.
This gives me, maybe this is our new business venture, right? We could make name placards, never have your name misspelled at Starbucks again, all different designs,
Oh, I love that. And then just make tacky, 80s commercials. Or,
right?
Never have your name ever misspelled, Do-do-do-do-do-do. Tired of Starbucks butchering your name? We've got you covered.
We've got you covered.
Yeah.
They're going to spell it right, but say it wrong.
Wrong, yeah. I think there's probably a Key and Peele skit about this too somewhere, because I laugh about the substitute teacher one. If you're familiar with it, where it's teachers trying to say kid's name and the kid's name is Aaron. Mm-hmm. And they're like, Aaron. Kind of like me practicing for today's podcast and calling it Communicare instead of Communicare, like a normal person. And then one of the names is Blake, but they call him Blockade. And so poor Blake, everywhere we go, he's Blockade instead of saying, So now we've got one all around our names on coffee orders.
Oh, that's hilarious. I'll
We
have to
could
remember that when I see Blake again.
Block
Yeah.
A.
Block A. Block A, how you doing?
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
used to it.
My husband's name's Troy. How can you mess that up? People just call him T-Roy sometimes, but they just
Oh, yeah. I like the name Troy. You don't hear Troy very often. I went to school with one Troy. Yeah.
yeah.
And
I
that's
thought
it.
it was a pretty common name.
I'm over here trying to say Troy special, and you're like, man, he's common. He's just a common denominator.
Maybe it's because he's been in my life for 3 decades. It's like my norm, Myra.
You're like that guy, you know.
Guy. Yeah. Are we ready for our podcast today?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this is our first repeat guest ever.
It is. Yeah.
And she's our absolute favorite. And it's Olivia Schon. Schon. Oh my gosh, Olivia! It's Olivia Schon. I'm the worst. I knew this was going to happen.
We were just talking about this is karma already.
Karma. I shouldn't have talked about that poor guy that called you chorizo. Oh my gosh, Olivia. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm so sorry. But we also
It was
have
meant to be. It was meant to be.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. We have Casey Quinn, and he's the. Oh my! I'm going to call it Communicare. Yeah.
You're not far off. You're close. Communicare.
Communicare manager. Welcome. This is, you know what? I should stop saying that people are our favorite or our best, because this happened on another podcast where I'm like, this is my friend. This is the best person in the world. And I called her maiden name, and she's been married and has like a life, and that is not her name at all anymore. And yeah, so I'm a winner. It makes good.
I'm glad you called me your favorite. I feel the same way about y'all. I'm like, yes, girlfriend time plus Casey. Like,
Yeah.
Plus Casey, yes. Yeah, well,
Hi,
we're
everybody.
Yeah,
we loved
hello,
having
thank
you last time, Olivia. It's been
It's been a long
pleasure.
time. I was trying to think. Do you remember the date? I think I was your third
Yeah.
podcast ever. Yeah.
Did we do it in April of last year, or was it May? I can't.
I think it was
Or
April.
June. Or was it June?
I don't know.
I think
I
we
feel like it
launched
was
in April.
the weather was not
Oh
super
yeah, because
fabulous.
Easter. We were close to Easter because our first
Yeah.
episode was me complaining about Easter honey
That's
and
right.
like Snowmageddon
Yep.
with a 5-year-old, which was awful, or 4-year-old at the time.
So many things have changed in a year for 211. And so I just thought if you'd give me the opportunity, I'd love to fill you in on a couple of things. So last time we talked, we had over 2,700 resources in our database. And now we have over 2,900 services that we are providing to Wyomingites, which is amazing. And remember, that includes any, nonprofit, faith-based, or government service that's offered in the state. Last year, we answered over 4,000 phone calls and had over 236 two-way text exchanges. So remember, you can text your zip code to 898-211, and that starts an interactive conversation with someone, which is awesome. We're now up to over 1,000 agencies throughout the state involved. And we're just kind of blowing and going. And we're really excited about some of those numbers. So currently we average about 175 to 300 phone calls a week. We've dipped down since COVID. COVID caused everybody to need all the things. And now we're just really dealing with those people with really specific needs that know to reach out to us for help. So, I just was excited to be able to share some of those changes that we have seen through growth.
Yeah, that's amazing. What a difference a year makes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't even know. I mean, honestly, just to think there's that many resources and that many people and organizations willing to partner and to get together and just continue to contribute to Wyoming 211 is mind-blowing to me. I mean, just in our pocket of the world, I think that's incredible.
Absolutely. So as far as the needs that people are calling in about, that top need last year was rental assistance, quickly followed by utility assistance, and then food insecurities. So a lot of people are interested in that call data that we keep track of. And so those were kind of the top presenting needs last year.
That's interesting. Trista and I actually attended the Governor Business Forum last year, and that was one of the number one topics was housing in Wyoming, being able to keep up with the needs of, like, one, do we even have enough housing? And two, what's the cost of living to afford that? Do we have affordable housing? What's the cost of living? And so obviously this is a topic, this is something that's from the top down, and to know that, it's unfortunate you do have people calling in, but as Wyoming 211, you're able to help and support those people and to get them the resources and the places they need to be. So it's interesting to see here's a need, and this is how a group is trying to fulfill that need. I think that's just amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, agreed. It was a hot
you.
topic there. So it's obviously something statewide that we need to work on and work towards.
So I know last time we hung out a long time on our resources for our farming and ranching communities, which was awesome. We did see an uptick in calls in those communities. So thank you for letting us utilize the Authentic Wyoming podcast to launch that information out. That was wonderful. We've also created a new mobile app. That was pretty exciting for us this last year.
Very exciting.
Yeah, so it's available in all app stores now. It's got some cool features. You can take a 4-step tour guide through the basic functions of it. It has category features with curated lists of possible searches that you can make, just like our search engine on our website. You can access driving directions right from the referral once you select the referral. And you can even make phone calls right from the app as well. And it contains our entire 211 database right there in the app.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, we're excited about all of our programs. One of our major programs that we are just launching, we just finished the pilot here in Laramie County, was for our community information exchange program called Communicare. Which is why I invited my friend Casey on today. He is Communicare's manager, and I wanted him to share straight from his mouth what the work he's doing and what actually is a CIE and how is it beneficial to us here in Wyoming.
Yeah, we're
Sure.
excited to hear about this, Casey.
Yeah, thank you. Just take it away.
Take it away.
All right. So Communicare is a community information exchange, or a CIE. On the surface, a CIE is a network of providers that have access to shared electronic tools that make it easier for these service providers to find resources for clients, make referrals to those resources, coordinate care with other service providers, and track the services that a client has received. That's not the terribly exciting part of it. That's, those are the tools themselves. But, what is the point? What is the point of this? What does it actually solve? So there is a problem in Wyoming and much of the U.S. for that matter that doesn't have to exist with the level of technology we have available in 2024. Right now, a person in need might walk into a food bank or a homeless shelter or a free clinic or an ER, and they'll receive the services they need at that moment. With the types of services these clients are needing, a provider can make a safe or a fair assumption that maybe this individual has other needs. If you need food, you likely need some financial assistance. Maybe you can't pay utilities. Maybe you need transportation. Maybe you need job and insurance. And then all those things compounded, maybe you need therapy. Maybe you have a substance use disorder. So there's 1,000 other things that can be impacting a person and why they're coming to see you in the first place. So currently, as it stands, providers can do a few things. Maybe the provider knows of some resources within the community and they'll give the client some referrals. Or maybe they don't give the client referrals at all. Or they have the client call Wyoming 211, which is also a good route if you're going to do anything. But regardless, they send the client on their way and they either never see them again or they see them every month thereafter. So you're losing track of these individuals, or the fact that they keep coming back means they have possible needs outside of just the services your organization provides. So that's currently how it stands in Wyoming right now. So that was long-winded, but this is where Communicare, a CIE, falls in. So with Communicare, you can be one of those providers and say to a client, oh, you need a pharmacy or a clinic. Here's a direct referral to a free clinic. You need food. Here's a direct referral to Meals on Wheels or your local food pantry. You need insurance. Here's a direct referral to Enroll Wyoming. And those in-network, in the system partners will receive that referral through Communicare or email. They'll be able to respond to the referral, tell you any relevant information regarding the services they provided to that individual, and also with access to resources all across Wyoming, because all 2,800 of our resources are within this. Those aren't direct referrals necessarily, but it's information they can at least give to the individual. So if you're in Casper, I'm willing to bet a lot of their, the medical center gets tons of people from Douglas, Evansville, the surrounding smaller towns, and then they go home. And the people in Casper might not know the services that exist in Douglas or Glenda, Wyoming, or Wheeland. So it gives clients a lot more available resources.
That's amazing. So it's like a huge network of resources, right? One resource to another, to another, to another, without really ever having to even contact Wyoming 211 again. You guys are just the facilitator of this.
Absolutely. It takes Wyoming 211 out of the mix. And also, from the client's perspective, they're doing less work. They're only filling out information once. Their documents can be uploaded in the system. But best of all, the organizations are reaching out to them first instead of the client making the trip or the call, sitting on hold forever, and then giving up, and then the services aren't received. So it's ultimately making care more efficient, and it does what we call closes the loop on referrals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
Can y'all imagine? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Olivia.
Tracy.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, can y'all imagine, having food insecurities and just having lost your job and not sure, how you're going to be able to pay medical bills, and now you don't have health insurance, and having to tell that story over and over and over again to separate entities in order to receive services. I think that for me is one major perk with using Communicare is me as a client. I just have to tell my story once, and then that gets communicated for me to all these organizations, and they reach out to me. So I'm not having to keep track of that sticky note that the food bank gives me for the clothing bank or the free clinic down the street. They're going to reach out to me to let me know that they're here for me, and I only have to tell that story once.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, exactly. And not even the client doesn't have to try to understand what are my other resources because they're coming to them. Yeah. Wow, what an amazing idea. Are other states doing this, or are you guys like the pilot?
So it is still pretty novel. I would guess there's probably 15 to 20 other CIEs out there. Not a lot of statewide ones. There's some more community-based ones like San Diego or Seattle. As far as the rural West, we're certainly one of the first. And, as we build this, we also have to do it our own way. We try to learn from these other cities, but they have such different issues. Wyoming really has unique issues just from the spaces in between services, the amount of gaps there are, travel time to get somewhere, where Wyoming people are just on a different clock to a degree because it takes us longer to get somewhere. It's colder, it's windier,
Yeah, we travel by hours.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So as far as the West, we're very much at the forefront of this.
That's really cool. So what does your launch rollout look like? You said that you just did the pilot and then it seems to have went well. How will this roll out to the rest of the state, or do you have a launch plan, or what communities will get it first?
So I'll touch on the pilot too. So Communicare is one of the best foundations for starting out as a statewide CIE. Because of the number of years and relationships 211 has built in Wyoming, but also because it was the organizations that helped build our program. So we have a steering committee that's been working on this for years now, and it consists of various organizations in Laramie County, ranging from small nonprofits to large organizations like Shine Regional Medical Center. We expect this to grow and change to reflect the providers across Wyoming, where we just started in Laramie County. This is going to branch well beyond that. But we did actually just finish the pilot for Communicare, and that was in Laramie County, and that was with 8 different providers, ranging from food pantry to recovery to hospital, free clinic, that sort of thing. Despite us not even being at full launch, we are receiving partner agreements across the state and tons of interest. So we have partner agreements in like Uinta County and Albany County. We're giving presentations to groups in Natrona County. There's a lot of interest in Park and Campbell, and we've been building up these relationships, and we expect these organizations that we've been talking to join. We're super fortunate also because we have great partnerships with large state entities like the Department of Health Chronic Disease Prevention program, and that's to help us onboard healthcare systems. And then another one that really excites me is the Wyoming Family Resource Center Collective. And I don't have you guys heard of the Wyoming Family Resource Center?
I have not.
Not the Wyoming
No.
one, but when I was growing up, there was a family resource center really close to where I had a great aunt who would keep me, and we would go and hang out there sometimes, and they'd have activities and games and things. So I'm familiar with the Family Resource
Sure.
Center and the importance of it. I'm not familiar with the Wyoming one, though.
Sure. So, I mean, that's very much the idea. The FRCs are a place where a family, or anyone for that matter, can go and receive access to resources, case management, care coordination. I believe 19 or 20 counties are participating. But the FRC is, in a city or something, they'll have all those resources in the building. We're very much a foundation of this because that's not practical in Wyoming. So the Communicare makes a metaphorical building for these county FRCs. But what's great about these as well is the FRCs give us a great launch point in these communities, particularly these rural communities, because we'll have that big organization taking the first step to building this network in their area.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's amazing. So, if a provider's out there and listening to this and they want to participate, how would they get a hold of you guys and offer participation?
Thank you for asking. So if you are an interested organization, you can either go to wyoming211.org and select Communicare CIE under the Partners and Programs tab. On the Communicare page, you'll find an interest form, and that lets me know that you'd like to learn more about the CIE. You can also email me at cquinn@wyoming211.org. That's CQUINN at wyoming211.org. Or if you're really having trouble trying to get a hold of me, just call 211, and one of our call center specialists will direct you to me. But I will say, just to end on something, a lot of the stuff I'm talking about sounds theoretical, hypothetical, but we've been using the system for a few months now, and we've seen it work on multiple occasions. Our case manager, which I should also state, you can make a direct referral to Communicare. Maybe you're a small food bank, you get someone that has case management needs, but you don't have the capacity. You can send them to our case manager. But she was working with someone with a disability that was near homelessness, not in his own hometown, and he's now back in that hometown with a job and a house. Maybe this individual would have got those resources regardless, but I think the CIE made it more efficient, and the difference of a week or a month can be life or death for some people. So I really believe in this. I think it's going to be a huge deal for Wyoming.
So in your pilot program, Casey, how many people have used it so far? Do you have any stats on that?
So we have just finished the evaluation of that, and we're about a few days premature, honestly, because I'm going to
Okay.
get that information on Friday. So I apologize I don't have that, and I'd be happy to send you those numbers.
Yeah, I would love to have them.
Oh,
We can
yeah.
actually just add them to the to the show notes. So
Cool.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
kind of like a wait and see if they
yeah.
listen. We have to
Hey,
go
maybe we
read the
should have
description.
like an
Yeah.
over-under bet going on. And
Yeah.
make it fun. Yeah.
Sure. I know our partners were using it, though. I know that they were getting clients.
Yeah.
That's
There's
awesome.
a mass of people in Cheyenne that have used it.
Yeah. You have a pretty good population center there. So
Yeah.
I'm sure the numbers will be reflective of that. So,
Yeah.
well, this is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Olivia, Casey, any upcoming things? I mean, this is a huge thing for you guys. Anything else that you want to share with us that Wyoming 211 will be doing in the near future?
Well, I noticed that when we talked last time, I was remiss to mention two of our other programs that are under our umbrella. And since Casey had mentioned that the CIE has case management capabilities, these other two programs do as well. So under our umbrella, we have an Aging and Disability Resource Center. So that's for any individual with a disability over the age of 18 or any individual over the age of 60 for that aging component. And so we have a navigator who acts as a caseworker for those two populations. She can help people with Medicaid and Medicare eligibility applications. She can help with SSI and SSDI assistance. She can give referrals and information out about in-home personal care and nursing, housing options, help applying for certain services, caregiver support and respite. Maybe I'm caring for my aging parent and it's exhausting and I need a break, but I'm not really sure where to turn to. And so she can give me information about that too. And then our other program is Kinship Connections of Wyoming. And kinship care is defined by any individual who's raising a relative child that's not their own child. And so grandparents raising grandkids, aunts and uncles raising nieces and nephews. This is a really growing population in Wyoming and really throughout the nation. And we, since 2019, have had this program that we've been running. And we have two individuals that act as caseworkers for that population. We have a ton of resources in Wyoming just for kinship caregivers. And within that program, they can help with guardianship filing fees. They can show up and advocate for those caregivers in court. They can offer legal aid and educational and training activities for that family, even down to extra diapers and wipes. I don't know about y'all, but it's been, at least a decade and a half since I've parented a young one. And I know, Myra, you're in the thick of it right now, but it feels like a really long time ago. And so it'd be hard to think of like what car seat rules are or how to register a kid for kindergarten or, what vaccines are they up to date on those and what do I need for school? And so these two ladies that work for Kinship Connection are really wonderful about hand holding through that process, especially for those. Most of our kinship caregivers are grandparents, anyone over the age of 55, actually. And so we have just noticed the rise in that population and the need for this service. And something we're really excited about is we're combining both an Aging and Disability Resource Center navigator with a kinship navigator, and we're putting that position out on the Wind River Reservation. So we're hiring someone who lives on the reservation to learn our resources at 211 and combine that position because we're really hearing there's a large need for both the kinship population as well as the aging and disabled population on the reservation. So we're really excited about that position.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have even thought of.
No, that's beautiful. And I mean, yeah, I am in the thick of it, but I have, a 5-year-old and a 6-month-old, and I forgot all the things that babies need. And it's not even been that long. Like and the cost of formula and diapers and car seats and childcare, and it's expensive to procreate, to be fruitful these days. So,
yes,
but
it
it's
is
a joy, and I think about like my mom helped, and I know even one of my best friend in the whole world, her great grandma helped raise her, and like these resources would have been so helpful for her. I mean, she's a great grandma, trying to help get her some things going and do things with school. And I just couldn't imagine, I didn't even know how to register my 5-year-old for kindergarten. And I'm supposed to be the one doing like the normalcy, in quotes. And I couldn't imagine just, one, being that incredible and taking on that and helping that child out. And then 2, trying to figure out all these little things that you don't think about until you're in it. And, that's really neat. That program is really cool. Thank you for sharing that, Olivia.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a lot of people ask when I talk about it too. I think 67% of our kinship caregivers are in that situation because of parents that have had substance abuse issues and then have been incarcerated. So we're really trying to, do what we can for these families that find themselves in this situation in emergent, type cases. And we're just really proud to be able to partner with other organizations to help these people out. So,
yeah, that's amazing. Well, we really appreciate you guys taking the time to talk to us today, and love learning about all the advancements of Wyoming 211 and meeting Casey this time. So it was great to have you back. We really appreciate
Thanks,
it.
y'all. It was wonderful. We appreciate the platform.
Yeah. One last question we like to ask all our guests, so I'll ask Casey to answer this first, is how do you stay authentic?
How do I stay authentic? Oh man, I'm trying to think of the most unauthentic answer. I don't know. I say what I want and I mean what I say, and I feel like that's the Wyoming way, honestly. So
I love that. Olivia?
Oh, I love that question. Actually, Casey kind of stole mine. I was going to say, self-care. But to be honest, yelling at my children's sports games because, they're just used to that encouragement. So if I'm not screaming from the sidelines, something is wrong.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I love that too. Yeah, I feel bad for my children. I get emotional. I'm very passionate. So I'm with you, Olivia. Screaming at the sport events. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Thank you guys again so much. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, y'all. It's been great.
Until next time.
Stay authentic.